Hey, it's Sam from Sugar Spun Run, and today I'll be showing you how I make my favorite white chicken chili. So my typical go-to chili recipe is my best ever chili recipe. That one has won over 100 chili cook-offs now, and it is fantastic. But when I'm looking to change things up, I go right to this white chicken chili. It comes together quickly. It is a pretty, I don't know if I should say healthy option, but it's a cleaner option that I really like feeding my family. So let's go ahead and get started with it. So my recipe is going to be using beans. I know some people get really particular about whether beans belong in chili or not, but they do belong in this recipe, can assure you. And we're going to be using two 15.5-ounce cans of cannellini beans. Now, before we begin, we're going to take about half a can and we're going to put it in a blender or a food processor. It's like a 3/4 cup, I'd say. You can just eyeball it. And we're also going to take like a half cup of chicken broth. Now you need a total of 3 cups of chicken broth for this recipe. We're just going to be using a half cup right now. And we're going to go ahead and puree these beans. This is just going to give us like a heartier, thicker base for the chili. So I like to do this rather than just put the beans right in the chili. This just takes a second, if I can figure out how this works. There we go. All right, and then once we have that nicely pureed, we can set it aside, head over to the stovetop, and let's get that chili together. All right, over on the stovetop, you're going to need a large pot. I love using my Dutch oven for this. And to this, we're going to add 3 tablespoons of butter. You can use salted or unsalted. Drop that in. Just use whatever you have on hand. So turn on your stovetop to about medium heat, and we're gonna get that butter nice and melted. And while it's melting, I'm also going to add about a tablespoon of oil. You can use either avocado oil or olive oil for this recipe. I'm using avocado oil today. Everything nicely melted. All right, once your butter is nice and melted, we're going to add our onion. You need about 1 diced medium onion. This is about like a heaping cup. Oh, try not to splatter yourself. That could be dangerous. And we're also going to add some finely chopped jalapeno or finely diced jalapeno. So I take 2 jalapenos, I cut off the tops, scrape out the seeds because those seeds are where the heat is and I don't want this to be super hot and inedible. And then I just cut it nice and fine. You can wear gloves, that way you don't end up with fingertips that are burning. Sometimes that happens. And this is about 3 tablespoons of jalapeno when all is said and done. Get that in there. All right, let's get this cooking, and we'll want to cook everything together until the onion is nice and softened. This will just take about 3 to 5 minutes. Once your onion is nice and softened, we're going to add our garlic. You'll want to use a tablespoon of minced garlic. Make sure you get all that in there. Do not waste garlic. Never have enough garlic. All right, and we're just going to cook that until it's nice and fragrant, which is usually like 30 seconds. Really quick, you don't want to burn your garlic. And while that's cooking, I'm going to start adding my spices. So we're going to do 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, half teaspoon of onion powder, a half teaspoon of ancho chili powder. I love ancho chili powder. It adds such a nice flavor. A 4th teaspoon of cayenne pepper. This is optional. You can reduce or omit that if you don't want things to be too hot. I feel like this doesn't add too much heat personally. We're also going to add a half teaspoon of ground black pepper and a half teaspoon of table salt. We may need to add more salt and pepper later on. We'll taste test to see. I always like to start on the lower end. So get those nicely mixed in. Adding them here helps the spices bloom a little bit, which just develops the flavor. All right, now let's grab our bean puree, which is so lovely looking, and we're going to just drizzle this in. And we are also going to add the remainder of our chicken broth. If you recall, we started with 3 cups of chicken broth. Gradually stir this in. And we'll add the rest of our beans. If you recall, we started with 2 cans. Oh, and I should probably mention I did drain and rinse these beans. We're also going to be adding between 3.5 and 4 cups of shredded chicken. You could use diced chicken if you prefer. Something really easy to make this a quick dinner. You can pick a rotisserie chicken and use that meat. I will include some tips in the description. If you're starting with raw meat and cooking it, I'll put that in the description. We're also going to add our chilies. So I buy these chopped green chilies. If you can get fire roasted, even better. They have more flavor. We do not drain them. You need 7 ounces of chilies, but for some reason my grocery store stopped carrying the 7-ounce cans. So I'm just using 2 4-ounce cans, which yes, gives me an extra ounce of chilies, which I'm fine with, but a 7-ounce can is really pretty perfect. I could leave some chilies out, but I don't really feel like wasting them. Also going to add a tablespoon of fresh squeezed lime juice. This one just doesn't want to squeeze for me, so we're gonna force it to. Yeah. All right, and let's stir everything together, and then we're going to bring this to a boil. Clean up a few things while we're waiting for that. Don't want to leave our wooden spoon in the pot while it's cooking. Ruin the spoon. So after we bring it to a boil, we're going to reduce our heat and we're just going to simmer this. Now here is also where I like to add the sour cream. This is a 1/2 cup of sour cream. I've been meaning to try this with cream cheese instead. I feel like that would also be delicious, but sour cream is just what works really well for us. We're going to stir this in and then we're going to continue to let the soup simmer for about another 15 minutes. If you're worried about your cream cheese separating, your sour cream separating, you can temper it with a little bit of the broth, but that is just something that does not really bother me at all. So I just stir it right in. All right, and then after a nice little simmer, which helps the flavors develop, we can go ahead and serve this. It's hot. And of course the chili is great plain, but I like it with some toppings. So a couple of jalapenos on top, a little bit of cilantro, dress it up as you'd like. I usually add some cheese, which I don't have right now, but I will be sure to add some of that. Crush a couple of corn chips. And that is how I make, this is very hot, so I'm gonna set it back down, but that's how we make my white chicken chili. Next thing you're going to want to try after this one is my best chili recipe if you haven't already. Like I said, that one has won over 100 cook-offs at this point. If you like this one, you're going to love that one. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. All right, it's hot, but we're gonna do this anyway. That was good. Not too hot that I'm not going back for more. Luke, what the heck are you doing? Woo! Wake up the baby. A little hot.